crush more than a like more than a love. Baby, I'ma
Make you mine.
whoa.
Whoa,
This is more than a crush, more than a like
more than a love.
Baby, I'ma make you
Whoa, whoa, whoa. This is more than a crush, more than a like paper, I need it. Ayy, shout out, I just said it, I need the green. That nigga cold, I'ma need it. Bad bitch like what I become, so she gon' eat the semen. Hey, 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 let's get live on a Saturday night, nigga, feel just like Keenan. Let's get live, fuck it on pipe. Oh, she said that when she see me, she wanna fight. It's more than a crush, it's more than a lie. Like, in love with the paper, money hungry for life. Let's get live, hold on, inside. Peel off, that's right. Two-tone whip with a Glock inside. Who shot, not I. I'm off the top, I'm just tryna live high. We the youngest who just living life. We just tryna kick it, let's get live. We tryna kick it, pull up to the dojo. Me and my whole crew got a bad like a hobo. I'm up the gas and it bit moving slow-mo. But can't no one fuck me over, I'm on go-go. Pull up the car, having horses like polo. With the bros, but I'm still riding solo. How you gon' hate if you bro, that's a no-no. I got this motherfucker jumping like Pogo. I got it jumping, grab the carbon blues on me, I'm having motion. I'm money hungry if you touch my plate. Then we gon' start a commotion. Bitch, I'm way too geek in the function, I cannot focus. Way too many actions from these woods, we need lotion. KD, I swear I don't never be on bro shit. AP, the way I'm running shit, I copy frozen. This is more than a crush, more than a like, bitch, I need racks. Niggas ain't seeing me, need cataracts. Graduated, but I don't like the cap. I feel like Queen Latifah could set it off and we stay with a strap. M's, I'ma make you mine. Run it up and put my team on the map, let's go. This is more than a crush, more than a like paper, I need it. Ayy, shout out, I just said it, I need the green. That nigga cold, I'ma need it. Bad bitch like what I become, so she gon' eat the semen. Hey, 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 let's get live on a Saturday night, nigga, feel just like Keenan. Let's get live, fuck it on pipe. Oh, she said that when she see me, she wanna fight. It's more than a crush, it's more than a lie. Like, in love with the paper, money hungry for life. Let's get live, hold on, inside. Peel off, that's right. Two-tone whip with a Glock inside. Who shot, not I. I'm off the top, I'm just tryna live high. We the youngest who just living life. We just tryna kick it, let's get live.
Don't run away from you. 'Cause I'm not giving up. Don't run away. Don't run away from the truth. 'Cause I'm not giving up.
What's going on, chat? It is another show. Welcome to Nerdy
Hello.
Live, the best morning show in commentary. Although we are not doing a morning show today, folks. We are doing a special nighttime show because we have a very special guest here today. Joining me is the Gaming Otter. How are you doing, good sir?
I'm doing all right. I'm kind of on a walk at the same time, but I did manage to squeeze you in today. I apologize about the unpreparedness. I was trying to get something to drink, and I'm kind of in between places. So thank you for having me.
Oh, of course, man. No problem whatsoever. Now, of course, chat, this is going to be I think this is going to be a very fun stream. So, first off, I just want to ask you this. Gaming Otter, what inspired you to make content?
So what inspired me to make content was my twin brother and I. We started the channel originally as Street Pass Princeton back in 2011, and we really wanted to inspire people to meet up and have fun, and most importantly, exchange culture with each other, especially through the Street Pass app, through the Nintendo 3DS.
It's 14
And we just think it was so revolutionary at the time that we wish more people appreciated it, and especially today. There's been so many comebacks with it, and I actually had 3 panels at PAX, and Plain Rock actually attended to a panel. And believe it or not, Bo Blacks and I were actually talking about him attending a panel potentially. So we'll see how that goes as well.
All right. Speaking of, I gotta ask this. Okay, we gotta ask the elephant in the room. Okay, we're not talking about Tipster. So, okay. How did you get in contact with Bo Blacks? Was it like you messaged him? Did he message you? What happened?
So I'll give you a TLDR. So I was at VidCon. I was like, maybe I'll meet someone, maybe I won't. I didn't know that he would be at the convention, but basically all you need to know is I got my badge. I was roaming around the convention, and honestly, it was one of the weakest conventions I've ever been to. So mind you, I've been to PAX, I've been to E3. Of course, no offense to the elephant in the room tipster, but he wanted to discredit my attending of E3s and PAX, and so did a couple other people. And I was like, look, I'm sorry you didn't attend these conventions, but I did, and those accolades do mean something. But notwithstanding, anyway, so it was like around 1 or 2 o'clock, and I happened to recognize face, and I went up to him and I said, "Are you Bo Blacks?" And he said, "Yeah, you recognize me?" I was like, "Of course, man." And I said my name. I was like, "Oh yeah." So we ended up agreeing to streaming, and that's kind of how the whole thing kind of went down. So that's kind of the idea of what happened. So.
Now, I have a question. So, Tipster came on the show and he explained your guys' history, but I want to hear it from your perspective. So, like, what would you say really caused problems between you and Tipster? Like, what happened there?
So Tipster and I, we date back to 2018, and it really goes to a man named Isaiah Triforce Johnson. So Isaiah Triforce Johnson, I'll give you also a TLDR history. That man is one of the most worst men in gaming history, hands down. So he screwed over Mewtwo King, he screwed over Justin Wong, and he basically discussed about them as if they were nothing and kind of washed his hands of them and well, they're in better places. And you're just like, no, they're not. They're in better places not because of you. They're in better places because they're strong people. But that's kind of digressing the point, right? So Triforce owed me money for 2 plane flights and a bunch of other things that I had bought and take care of him. And so the drama started in 2017 when Triforce and Etika teamed up to basically sludge and slander my reputation on live stream by getting people to say some really horrible things about me that I, again, won't get into detail because it's a little much. But anyway, so in 2018, right, this is kind of where Tipster steps into the fold. So Triforce unfortunately gets called into question because of Billy Mitchell and Todd Rogers. And Billy Mitchell and Todd Rogers are basically the connecting bridge to Tipster. That's really the big main focal point. And essentially, when Triforce's records started coming into question, that's really when Tipster kind of came to the fold. And even Keemstar actually came to the fold because Keemstar gave Triforce an interview that really made Triforce look bad.
Okay. Now, according to Tipster, the fallout you guys had was someone in the community was going through a rough time, and he did everything he could on his end, and if I remember, what he said correctly. You accused him of not doing enough. Now, is there any validity to that?
So yeah, that was sorry, there's a lot of wind, so it's a little hard for me.
Oh,
So
no,
yeah, it had to do with Kobayashi, and I was very concerned about him, but luckily Kobayashi is okay and everything. But it was more so that I questioned his ability, and he took it as offensive, so he blocked me. And then basically, I overheard. Apparently, he called me a dead dog, which I thought was really kind of sad, considering that his career is kind of a dead dog. No offense, but yeah, Tipster's career has kind of gone down the toilet. He got exposed by Turkey Tom, and all that stuff, and I kind of feel bad for Tipster, but at the same time, it's like, I have to be honest with you, Nerdy John. After the whole Bull Black stream, when he basically, came at us for 4 hours, I was like, wow, I'm sorry for you, Tipster. You don't approve of this friendship, but yeah, we're friends, and Bull Blacks and I share a lot of things in common. We both love Sonic, we both love Nintendo, and we hung out that evening, and there's a lot of things said between me and Bull Blacks, but I say very strongly that we are just friends. We did do a lot of kind of jokes and such, but people kind of took it out of context and was like, this is just cringe and this is just this. They're just trying to do this. It's like, we don't really care. You can interpret whatever you want. And people play narrative games to the point of death. And it's like, you know what? If that's what you want to believe, I can't control you what you think. But I'm telling you what it is. So if you choose, right, to believe in something else, then I don't know what else to tell you. And that's the case it is. And that's all there. Okay, so I see him in the chat.
Hey, how you doing there, buddy? How's it going?
Hi, how are you too? So I'm in San Diego right now. Don't worry, I'm far away from you.
Well, you stated numerous times on your live streams and also in the 2 emails you sent me that you really insisted on talking to me. So I figured, here I am. What do you want to talk about, buddy?
Well, I thought you were too busy signing your restraining order, and I wanted you. Well, actually, not I, but you wanted me gone. So I'd rather respect your privacy than you respect mine.
You haven't respected my privacy for the past several years.
That's what you said.
No. You've tried multiple times to
that's what
even though I've told you numerous times I don't want to be anywhere near you. So what do you want to talk about? You wanted to talk so bad. What do you want to talk about?
So it's very interesting because this was really supposed to be an interview between Nerdy John and I, and it'd be nice if you actually respected my interview like I respected your Nerdy John interview. So could you let Nerdy John and I do the talking, and you can come back later?
So you don't actually want to talk to me, even though
no, I do, but I'd actually like to have my time for my interview. So could you respect that, please? Because when Triforce actually respected me, maybe you should actually show some respect.
No, I think I'm good. You haven't respected me all that much over the past several years.
You definitely show that.
By the way, can you answer a question for me? Can you explain to me how? Can you explain to me how I swung first when you did an hour-long live stream with Bo Blacks, where numerous times you were talking shit about me? How did I swing first?
The funny thing is that you don't have to actually bite someone's beef, Tipster. And if people talk about you, that's just part of life. That doesn't mean you have to be part. You don't have to be part of someone. No. This is your narrative. I'll give you the narrative. Tipster, you don't have to talk about other people if you don't like it. So deal with it.
So you want to be a content creator who's live streaming on the internet and talking shit about people, and you don't expect to get the smoke in return?
Well, you know what? You got the smoke tenfold.
I did? Really?
Yeah, you did.
I don't know about that, my guy. I don't know about that, my guy. Seems like you got a lot of negative attention on you right now, and all your ops are coming out to burn your ass now.
Oh, you burned me? Well, you burned yourself. Aren't you 300 pounds? So it looks like you know where to put your weight.
It's interesting you mentioned that, because in your video that you directed at me, you were talking about how you felt bad about people making fun of my weight and stuff, but you've done it numerous times.
You know what? I did.
You've done it numerous times, so
you really do
it's
have
really
a fat
interesting
ego.
that you would pretend like you have the moral high ground when you have no interest in you have no problem engaging in it.
You know what? I'm sorry. I've met tons of fat people who are way better than you.
What does that have to do with anything? I'm just calling you out because I don't care if you make fun of my weight. You can make fun of my weight all you want.
You know what?
Don't act like you have the moral high ground or whatever. Don't act like you have the moral high ground like you're better than that when you engage in it too.
You're not the father.
What? You sound fucking unhinged right now, bro.
Well, you sound like you're kind of weird.
I mean, you're the one who's been sexually harassing me for the past
I'm
week
sorry
or so.
that you basically
want to talk about being weird?
You came on me and Bull Black, so I just returned you the favor. That's what you do. You return the favor.
Remember,
but again, that's your narrative.
You struck first.
That's your narrative.
First. So
that's your narrative.
If you can't handle the
that's
smoke,
your narrative.
then don't
your narrative.
throw your hat in the ring. All right.
Well, you know what? I'm going to give you the narrative. That's yours.
Why
you don't have to talk about
this
someone?
Isn't a narrative.
See, I did though. It's your narrative.
So I swung.
Yeah, you did. Well, you know what's funny? Let me really give you a piece by piece.
If you don't want to get hit.
Well, you want me to give you the hit? Let me give you the hit. Do you remember what I said in Bo Black's Steam, how gay men are drama's gay men electrolytes? You actually laughed at me. Like, well, that's like me too. Well, actually, you just admitted to your own crime, tipster. So you're welcome.
What does that even mean? You're not making
that's
any
why you
sense
diffuse
right
it. You act like you don't know what I'm talking about.
You're not making any sense right now.
You don't make any sense. That's your way of diffusing it. That's your way of diffusing it. You're like, I don't know what he's talking about. Yeah, sure you don't, buddy.
So do you think it's
John,
okay
can we
to
seriously kick him out?
Do you think it's okay to like
John,
sexually
I don't really want to
people?
answer tipster anymore. I'm not.
Do you think it's okay to just sexually harass people to make like really inappropriate comments about like you wanting to like have sex with me and shit like that? Do you think that's appropriate?
You're a terrible actor.
I'm a terrible actor. I mean, I'm not an actor to begin with.
Yeah,
I'm
you
not
are.
An actor to begin
you are.
With,
you know what they call YouTube when people can't read things correctly? They call them bad actors. That's what you are.
I mean, I don't pretend to be an actor.
Well, you kind of were pretending because
I'm not pretending to be an actor, but I am somebody who's calling you on your bullshit right now. That's what I am right now. You keep on
going on your videos and streams. You do it. You're all washed up YouTuber too.
You talk about me on every
you're the one that wanted it.
So you can't call me out for responding when you're the one that's talking.
You didn't have to fight the beast.
Again, let me remind you.
You didn't have to fight the beast.
You swung first.
I don't really care what you think, Tipster. I don't really care what you think.
Again, with you, like just as another example of you, like trying to pretend like you have the moral high ground. What makes you think that you have the right to question the legitimacy of my queer identity?
You know what, Tipster? Have you ever gone to a gay community? Have you ever gone to a gay community? No, you haven't. So that's a sad thing.
I'm involved in multiple gay communities. Do you know anything about me? Do you know anything fucking about me, bro? Are you kidding right now?
You know anything about me? Do you know how much money I raised? You know how much I've done? You've done so much.
I saw that, by the way, on Blue Sky. You brought up how much you raised for charity.
You know what? You know what? You're so right.
20 grand for charity.
Your journey is nobody's business when you make it public. Your journey is no one's business when you make it public. Your journey is no one's business when you make it public, is it?
What the fuck are you even talking about?
You know what? You don't even get it.
You're completely missing the point. You're trying to act like you have the moral high ground and you're questioning the legitimacy of my queer identity. What do I have to do to prove to you that I'm queer? Do you want to see a video of me sucking a dick? Do you want to watch me jerk off the gay porn? Like, what the fuck, bro?
Yeah, you know what? Why don't you show us? Put your money where your mouth is, baby.
You're fucking weird, dude. You're really fucking creepy and weird. By the way, why did you argue with one of your mods today for asking you to respond to like those allegations about that Evo kid?
Evo is a liar, dude. That person hated that I collabed with Plain Rock, and you'd do anything to kill me after Plain Rock went on my panel. That's the truth, dude.
So
you need to do some research.
So what's the deal?
You need to do some
kid?
research.
What, no, what's
the Evo kid is a deranged.
I'm asking you, okay?
I just told you everything. Let me just tell you again.
No, you didn't.
You'll get it.
Let me ask my question.
But I'll tell you again. I'll tell you
You're not going to deflect like you did with your mom today. You're not going to deflect like you did with your mom today.
You're not
Let me ask you a fucking question.
You need to hear what I said.
Why won't you let me ask the question? Oh, are you scared?
It's about Evo. I heard what you said. Do you want me to answer it now?
So let me ask you the question. What did happen with the Evo kid? Did you try to fly them out to a convention like everybody says you did? So what happened? I'm asking.
This is what happened, right?
I'm not making a statement. I'm asking.
Let me just tell you. All right. So do you remember that one Gabe kid from the launch line? How I basically was going to give him advice? Okay. Remember when I told you that giving advice does not mean giving someone a flight? Basically the same line. So I wish that someone could go to a convention. That acted like a blank check to him to be like, oh, this is what he meant. And he took his narrative. And that's what he did to me, Tipster. So basically, you try to be nice to someone, they lie to you, and then they basically play narrative games. And then like, game over, I won the narrative. And I'm like, no, that's not how it happened. Because I didn't agree to anything. I didn't agree to anything.
Let me ask you this thing, because to be clear, I'm not making an allegation. I just found it interesting that your mom is saying you should address it.
You'd actually be a better person not to.
Let me finish. I just found it a little bit interesting, and it's a little sus that your mod like says, "Hey, you should probably address this," and instead you choose to like I think you unmodded your mod or whatever, or at least you threatened
I didn't even do that.
to keep bringing
I
it
didn't
up.
even do that.
But you threatened to. You did threaten to, though,
no,
right?
actually, I didn't. You'd be laughing.
No, you
I
did.
didn't.
It's on your
No,
stream. I saw it.
Stop putting words in my mouth. You put words in everybody's mouths.
You know, it's interesting that you say that because you said that I have a problem with you taking donations, and I don't have a problem with you taking donations on stream. Lots of streamers do it.
I saw
what
that.
I do have a problem with is you expecting your audience.
Yeah,
what
you
I
are
do
the
have a problem
narcissist.
with is you expecting your audience to pay your way. Unlike me, I have a
I'm
day job.
sorry.
Like I
I'm
fund my
sorry.
way.
I'm sorry.
But like
I'm sorry.
you expect your audience to pay your way.
Help. I can't ask for help. I can't ask for help. That's your problem.
I mean, it's a problem when instead of getting a job and paying your own way, you expect your audience to pay your way for
months,
you.
dude. I've done that for months.
Like you're a bigger
Nobody
fucking
wants to
e-bagger
hire
than
me.
DSP,
Nobody
bro.
wants to
You're
hire
literally
me.
a bigger
What do you
e-bagger
do
than
then?
DSP.
You just throw yourself over a bridge? Is that what you want me to do?
That's not what I said. What the fuck?
Basically what you are.
That's
You
like
are a
super
horrible
fucking
person,
like
Tipster.
manipulative to try and be like, oh, you just want me to kill myself?
manipulative.
No, I don't want you
You're
to kill yourself. I
manipulative.
never said
You're
that.
manipulative. I really just can't stand you. John, please remove him from the chat.
I ain't going nowhere, bro.
Listen,
Oh, well,
okay.
well, then guess what? I'm just
you
going
so
to get you
bad?
started, aren't I?
You wanted to
Well,
talk
I'm
to me
sorry.
so bad?
I guess
well,
you're
I'm here
so
to stay.
clear. You're here. Well, let me make you loud and proud for you, buddy.
What?
Okay, Otter, I do have a legitimate question. So
What's your question?
So I was trying to understand your GoFundMe, the latest one.
All right, I can explain.
Yes.
So my brother has a heart problem. He has aortic stenosis, and we're struggling both really bad, even from last year. And the thing is, John, that the sad part about being a content creator is you often have to say no to your dreams because life sucks and no one wants to believe in you. And no matter how hard of a voice you have to just keep living, pushing 300-pound people at an airport job that no one really cares about while your boss says they could just get rid of you any day. And so the cold, calculated thing that Tipster basically was like was that basically anything I do is meaningless because he doesn't really care or seem to care, and again, formulates narratives about how I go about my life.
That's not what I said at
Yeah,
all.
you basically do. No, you don't have to say
that's
anything.
not what I said at all. That's not what I said at all. No, you can't put words in my mouth like that. That's not what I said at all.
You're speaking out of turn. You're speaking out of turn.
You don't dictate when I get to speak and when I don't. Now, if
Oh,
John
I'm
wants
sorry.
to say
You don't
something and ask me
dictate.
politely,
Yeah,
and
I'm
then you
about to
stop
say
talking, I will.
the dig at Tipster was kind of unnecessary.
I'm so sorry, but I have to put Tipster in his place when he opens his mouth at me.
You know what, John? You know, in fairness to John here, you know, I don't want to completely derail your interview.
nice.
I think
I'm
I've
glad
pretty
you
much
can
said what I
John.
had to say here, but
Oh,
I got
that's
one more
nice.
thing to say to Otter before I dip out.
Go ahead.
If you can't handle the fucking smoke, don't swing, bro, because I will swing back.
Well,
100%.
guess what? If you actually go to the smoke, you're gonna gain the fire on yourself. So there you go.
Okay, whatever, dude. Peace out, John.
You're welcome.
Thanks for having me on.
Peace out, Tipster.
So okay, Otter. Otter. So
yeah,
but it's just like I noticed that like you tweeted earlier. I forget exactly what the tweet was. It was a quote. It was a quote tweet from YouTube Shorts, like about like promoting Shorts, right? Because for those of you guys who don't know, fun fact: apparently Shorts has overtaken TikTok in users. Now that's mostly because TikTok you can't download it anymore. A larger
install base.
Yeah. Also the larger install base, yes. However, I dude, like nowadays it is way easier to create content just purely by having a phone nowadays.
That's how it is for me too.
I think what I'm about to say is I don't think you need that large amount of money like the GoFundMe.
Okay.
Now, obviously, I would love.
But here's the problem, John, and let me really hit it home.
Yes.
So I've been trying to do YouTube content for 14 years. And while you might say that I don't need that money, and I appreciate you trying to put your opinion where my life is, but I actually do need that money. I need that money to pay off things, to afford for my twin brother, so that way he can get his heart surgery. And if you're going to tell me that my brother should just fall dead, which I know that's not what you said, but it just feels like he doesn't matter, and he does matter to me. Because, you know what, we were born into this world, and I want to see him keep living. Because if he's gone, that's not going to be a world I want to live in either. So I'm just going to let you know right now. And the sad part.
Let's not join any 41%, okay?
Well, you know what the sad thing is, John? No one wants to care about someone's life because their life's way worse than yours. And that's how everyone frames it. So it's like, I matter more than you. And that's the truth. That's how people frame it. And it's like, I'm tired of that. I'm tired of people saying that I don't matter. And I'm at a point where I'm like, look, you can you can have anybody say with the utmost cataclysmic dramaticism about their lives, but I'm still going to turn around and be like, but I'm also human too. And that's what I have to say. And at the end of the day, John, I appreciate your opinion, and we can keep going. It's fine. I've got 30 more minutes. But all I have to say is that my twin brother does matter to me. And if people don't want to see it, I can't force them to see it, but I can try. And that's all I have to say. So I thank you for your opinion. Go on next.
I do want to say, like, I've seen a clip of you saying that you want to have a threesome with Tipster with your twin brother.
That's a joke. That's a joke.
Did you joke? Okay. Well, like, I don't know, man.
So let me explain. Here's the problem, right? Tipster would stalk me. And the problem is that when Tipster claims that I'm stalking him, I'm like, no, that's not the truth, Tipster. The truth is that you were the one that watched me and Bo Blacks. You were the one keep coming into my stream. So I was just like, you know what, Tipster? I'm just going to give you what you want. So basically that's what I did. And sometimes, John, the hard part about being a guy like myself, you deal with a lot of creeps. And honestly, Tipster is the real creep here. And I really just can't stand how basically even in 2020, he was making this big push on Susie Lou. And it's like, look, man, I totally get it. You don't like her. I don't like her either. But what was the purpose of this? Because at the end of the day, she's still making content, stealing anime. So you basically gained just money to go to the bank while she just, you know, it felt like a little Mario Bros with Bowser. It's like, oh,
I mean, is she still making money though? Because hang on,
she is.
Actually,
let
me look up her channel real quick. Susie Lou.
Yeah.
Because okay, let's see.
Yeah, she's around.
Yeah, she's still around making content, but it is nowhere near where she was.
No,
I mean, granted, she's still making money from these videos. It looks like, because 50K on video is 50K.
Oh yeah.
But as far as like, I think it was important to call her out though, like because
it was important. I just think that at the end of the day, it's like when some people think that they call someone out, it's going to give them the outcome they want, and unfortunately, it doesn't. And we all have to live with that. The whole notion that your effort doesn't always equal the output you think it does. And it's the sad part of life. And, you know, I was a cross-country runner. I was a very dedicated vegetarian after my grandmother passed away when I was 15. And you really learn that no matter what you do, you kind of just stick to your strengths because that's the way you have to live your life. And while you can be the biggest content creator in the world, you can put a lot of effort in, you could even put the littlest effort. At the end of the day, anyone can overtake you. And I think, if anything, I think Tipster has shown us that, you know, as big as he was during that era, he fell. He fell pretty hard. And to be upfront, John,
I don't even think Tipster would deny that he fell off. But like,
oh yeah, he wouldn't.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to say one last thing about Tipster is that basically all you need to know is that when he moved to me, it was like, okay, well, if I'm the new forehead Susie Lou, go ahead. I don't care.
But speaking of, I do want to ask about that. So, like, why are you threatening to report people's channels that talk about you and like copyright strike people?
Right. Let me explain that. So it's less so about threatening. It's more so stating that if someone comes at me with false information, I'm like, you can't do that. So of course people will do it anyway. Here's the problem, John. You go on a platform, and no matter what you say or do, people will always talk about you, right? But the thing is, like, again, when someone makes a 4-hour live stream on you and obsesses over you for 4 hours on your 1 hour live stream, and they say, well, I don't have a problem with this. And like, no, actually you do. You made the video.
I mean, okay, so like if he's reacting to your live stream, if he's reacting to your live stream, and your live stream, as you said, is like 1 hour long, right? It's 1 hour long.
Yeah.
So obviously, if for example, if I was reacting to that live stream, I would want to make it 2 hours long. Now, because of your history, because of your history with Tipster, obviously he's going to have a lot more to say about you. So, of course,
I think that the problem with that is the context of the conflict of interest. And that conflict of interest kind of spills into our history. So it's like when you have like Rosanna Pansino talk about Mr. Beast, and it's like, look, Rosanna, I know you say a lot of things about Mr. Beast, and while some of them might be valid, unfortunately your vendetta against him kind of shows another story. So again, I'm just going to say that when he did that 4 hour live stream, I was like, yeah, okay, you got beef. Well, let me give you the beef.
Yeah,
so
something is being brought to my attention in chat. Apparently, your mod is threatening to dox Tipster. I do have to say, I do disavow that.
I disavow that too. Yeah. I disavow that too. Please don't do that, mod. Okay. I don't care. I don't want them to do that. Let me make it very clear. I do not want to go after him. So I only did those things to push him away and basically be like, look, I'm backing away the door and I'm offering this olive branch. I know you don't like me. I know I'm doing these weird things that you don't like, but it's because you did these weird things. So now I'm just like at a standstill and I'm like, okay, I'm walking back slowly. I'm walking back slowly. And then it's like he's like made his thing. I was like, okay, well, we got what we needed to do. It's like if you have two dog walkers and one of the dogs is not nice. And so then you try to just like calm it down very easily. And it's like, okay, this is a standstill. I'd rather get out of here. So, and it's less so about like who stays in the fight or not. It's like there's really not supposed to be a fight here. It's just a disagreement. And if it's a disagreement, it's like, well, then why take it further? That's my thing. Is like, why does he have to go so hard at me when I'm friends with his ex-friend? And I just find it to be childish and petty. So I'm just like, you know what? If you want fuel to the fire, I gave it to you.
It's not just that you're friends with Bo Blacks. I think it's because obviously, and you're more than welcome to. I'm not saying that you can't. You did make digs at Tipster. You have, especially recently, have been talking about Tipster a lot. Now, I think a simple solution to this, Gaming Otter, would be just to not mention Tipster at all. In fact, if you really wanted to, I would suggest banning his name in chat.
Even if I didn't, honestly, people would probably bring him up anyway. But I just want you to know, John, for Tipster's benefit, that I'm going to make double, if not quadruple the effort to not talk about him. And if anyone talks about him in my chat, I'm going to remove the message and I'm just not going to talk about him. Because I'd really rather not. And to be honest, like, Tipster has enough problems on his plate. And honestly, like, the funny thing is actually me adding the problems would make his life easier. So I'm going to make his problems worse by not talking about him. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt of making a challenge of him growing from my Susie Lou forehead drama for him. And I won't talk about him. So I'll make it easy for him.
All right. Now, so what are your plans exactly for the future? Of like, are you going to be doing more shorts? Because if you want my personal suggestion, I suggest you do less live streaming for now, and I would suggest that you do.
I do shorts. I do long form. It's like I welcome suggestions, right? But here's the thing: suggestions only work when the content creators share a similar vision, and when they don't, it's difficult. So let me just say that I have another content creator, if not several content creators that I work with that enjoy my content. We mesh pretty well and we want to do stuff together. But you know what, John? I'll let you take a swing at it because I am on your interview. I do respect you. What time is it right now? 5:34? Okay, so I have like 26 more minutes. So I'll give you the swing and then I'll give you my feedback. But yeah, you're welcome to say what you want. And all right, I'll let you go at it. Hold on. I'll let you go at it. All right, go ahead.
Okay, well, what I would suggest for you to do is just like, you know how easy it is to get views on like TikTok and YouTube Shorts specifically about just talking about like Nintendo fun facts. If you do that, man, it will rack up views for you pretty well, considering that you already have like a somewhat sizable enough audience. That's a good point to launch off of. Stop being so mean to Nick. I am being very nice compared to how I normally am with people. I'm known as
John's actually nicer than Tipster. I'll give John this. Oh, there you go.
Okay. For the record, Tipster says, for the record, I have no issue with him and Bo Black's being friends, but it was a funny interaction and they were talking shit, so I reacted. It's that simple.
It was funny. It was funny. He did give a shit, but I don't care what he thinks.
It is not theft. It is a fair use reaction, says Tipster. I do agree. I do.
Oh, that's what we're calling it. Fair use reaction. Well played, Tippy. Well played. I like that one.
Well, it's like when you knew
your reaction is fair use for you. Got it.
Well, like I think it's the difference. I'm guessing you're comparing him to Susie Lou. The difference between reacting to an anime and reacting to someone's live stream, I would say, is like very different. You know, like
no, I get it. Corporations could bankroll you to the ground versus, I mean, if I try to copyright anything, they laugh at me. No, I get it. My dollar would mean nothing. I totally get it, John. You don't have to tell me that.
Okay.
I'm not trying to make you uncomfortable. I apologize. Just go on with your. I actually liked your fact. Your Nintendo facts. Yeah, I should do that. I like that idea. Is there anything else you want to add? I'm still listening.
No, yeah. I just I think it's very clear. Like, no offense to you, but I think it's very clear that
I didn't take offense.
handle. I think it's clear that you can't handle drama, at least in this space. So I would
Oh,
just.
I can. He can't. He's the one installing the restraining order. I didn't. He did.
Well,
But
I'm
it's
not talking
okay.
about. I'm not talking about Tipster specifically. I'm just more so talking about in general. It seems like you have. What I'm not.
Well, I don't really
commenting.
like drama. I'm kind of allergic to it, but I appreciate you trying to state it as fact. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, it's just what I would suggest is just stay clear from it. Just continue
Yeah.
making.
Okay.
Because
Well,
Nintendo
I'll do what I can.
Nintendo content should be wholesome. You know what I mean? It should.
Oh, I agree.
I've taken down numerous channels. Tessa, that's bad. You shouldn't be doing that.
Tessa, stop. I just about anything. If Tessa's doing anything bad, I apologize. Tessa, please stop. I appreciate your passion, but we gotta respect people in
I'll
this public
get your
spaces.
channel taken down, Tessa.
Yeah. I'm sorry, John.
Listen,
I don't.
listen.
Some of my fans get really passionate, and I can't control them.
I see that.
I tell them what I tell
hope
them
you
to listen.
disavow.
I tell them to listen. Well, you know what? I can't be held liable for people's actions when they don't listen.
Yeah, I'm about to say, goddamn. What? I'm just a poor boy trying to live up to his YouTube radio dreams out here, Tessa. You trying to take me down? You're trying to take another queer person down? What the fuck, Tessa? That's very homophobic of you.
Oh, you're queer too? Are you queer too?
I do let gay men suck my penis occasionally. Yes.
Oh, really? Wow, you do. That wasn't an invite. That was an invite, right?
No, it was not.
That was a joke,
not.
right? No. Hey, I respect your penis, okay? So you're welcome to, you can make it public domain or not. So you do whatever you want with your penis. I respect your body. So your body, your choice, right?
Oh, whoa, hey! Now let's not bring feminism into this. We're gonna have a entirely different issue on our hands.
I think we're having a more fun time than Tipster. It's Tipster getting jealous in the chat because if he is, it's fine. See.
Jeez. Okay. Oh, okay, Mr. Gamer. We kind of did address the groomer allegations earlier because I imagine that's what Tipster was talking about earlier with the Evo kid.
Say it again. I'd happily go through it again. I'll happily go through it again.
Okay,
right?
go right ahead. Go right ahead.
Okay, so basically all you need to know is Evo was a very obsessed fan, right? And so all you need to know is that he took this one statement, right, about how I wished that he could experience these conventions and took it as a blank check of, well, by the way, you wanted to give me a flight. And I was like, no, I didn't. And then the other thing is like, Evo and I were both in Europe at the same time. And then Evo reveals about their age status. I'm like, look, Evo, this is making me really uncomfortable. And let them know right away. And so I'm just like, yeah, I'm safeguarding myself. I'm like, disavow, do not want. You know what I mean? It's like when you find something very late in the game and someone is trying to make you at fault for something, John, you disavow completely. You're just like, look, I didn't know what I was getting into. And I take some level of accountability, but I don't take the accountability of knowing who you are because you're some person on the internet. You know what I'm saying? It's like if I don't know who you are and you reveal yourself as someone else, I can't be held accountable for someone's lack of trust issues. What was
the nature of the conversations you were having with Evo? Were
the
they
nature
sexual?
of the conversation was basic. No, it wasn't even that.
Okay.
That's the funnier part. It was all about Nintendo. So here's the problem, right? Evo, when Evo was in our Discord, basically Evo would be like, I hate AI. I hate Starbucks. I hate Power World. And we'd just be like, look, Evo, we really appreciate that you want to add these conversations, but could you be a little more positive? We would give him feedback, and he wouldn't listen. And, he is autistic, which we understand, and I'm too. But, when it comes to being autistic, it means you have to deal with certain feedback that if you can't give feedback in a positive way, then no one will listen to you. And if you're going to be negative, unless you can build off that in a positive way, then again, no one wants to listen. And see, here's the problem, John, right? So Evo was basically in cahoots with Cabasco, a speedrunner who hated my guts. So this is really the big problem here, right? So I beat Cabasco, and Cabasco hated it. It unnerved Cabasco's soul. So what did Cabasco do? Claim that I cyberstalked them, and I was like, no, wrong. All I wanted to do was learn how to play this one game. And because you lost, you wanted to make it a narrative game. So you know what Cabasco did? Right. They got me banned from speedrun for about around a month until I was able to fight the ban. And I basically proved it by showing like, look, Cabasco is in these public places. That's how I was able to know where they were. I didn't care. Right. I did not care. This would be like if Tipster walked into VidCon and I was like, well, there's Tipster. Now I have to avoid him. You know what I mean? And it's like, just because two people are in the same space doesn't mean one's doxing them. If you make your information public, then you've made your information public. That's not doxing. So Cabasco wants to have her cake and eat it too. And it's like, you know, it's like Keffels. It's like, look, Keffels, if you don't want people to know where you are, then don't tell people where you are. And if you tell people where you are, then you have to take the consequences of the results. And I think people want to assume that, again, they can have the cake or two. But it's like, if you go to a Smash Brothers competition, and that's basically what she tried to get me on. And I was like, no, here's the live stream from your Smash Brothers competition. So I sent it to the mod team from the speedrun.com, and they dug their heels in. And they were like, well, you're banned for one more week, but I guess we have to unban you. And so the fun thing, John, is this is where Evo comes in, right? So Evo doesn't like that Plain Rock's on my panel. There's a lot of allegations of Plain Rock, apparently him being transphobic and such. And I'm like, you know what? Plain Rock has 2 million subs, Evo, and you have none. So I have to listen to my team. And if my team is telling me, right, that, right, if you're on a panel, right, and you're trying to make it the best panel presentation ever, and Plain Rock's in the door, would you rather take the risk of working with someone as controversial as that is, or just say no to them? What would you do, John? Would you put Plain Rock on your panel?
It depends on your principles, right? So like if
that's part of it. That's part of it.
Because like if they are transphobic, and this is a space for like because like Nintendo games, I would say, is fairly family friendly, very wholesome. You know, it's a safe space for a lot of people.
They do have to play the line. They have to play the line, though. That's the problem. Yeah, it's like no matter what your principles are, people will always say something is against the word of God because it fits their narrative, and that's the problem with life. And here's the thing about Plain Rock: he actually smashed a copy of the Hogwarts Legacy game. So in a way, you could argue, as Fairweather fan that is, of a certain principles, whether they be trans or LGBT, you know, he did a favor for the trans community, if you want to look at it like that.
By destroying one copy of a game.
Yeah, well, he made a public statement, so I think that's one way of looking at it. But here's the real thing, right? I can't go off allegations, right? I need cold, hard facts. So unless you're going to give me the cold, hard facts, then I'm just like, well, there's allegations. That's it. You don't have anything concrete. So I'm sorry, Evo. I'm putting Plain Rock on my panel. So Evo made it really clear that he didn't want to promote. And I was like, okay, Evo. And so basically, Evo was vindictive. And that's basically where the narrative kind of went, where it was like, oh, you endangered me. I was like, no, I didn't. You endangered yourself by basically putting out a vendetta of someone you didn't like and then making it all about you, Evo, and then basically catering to Cabasco about me getting banned from the speedrun site. And then if you watch Cabasco's pathetic excuse of a video, I actually showed it to several of my friends. They were like, Cabasco can't argue themselves out of paperback. I was like, I know. It's like they just tell that they're uncomfortable, but they don't explain how they're uncomfortable. They don't go into detail. They just said, well, I just didn't like him. It's like not liking someone is not an excuse or a reason, is not the reason for the excuse, pardon my Chappelle Rowan, of good luck, babe, when it comes to competing. And if you can't handle someone competing, then you have to diplomatically explain, not just use the speedrun site as a totalitarianism draconianness to ban them. This is what I was fighting for. John, look, I was fighting to be able to compete. And this person hated it so much that they basically got me banned a second time. And I can't play games and compete on them. So if I want a speedrun world record, I have to not submit it to speedrun. How would that make you feel, John?
Okay, so one moment. If I'm understanding this correctly, okay, so the sum of it is, some of the allegations is you talked to Evo before you knew they were a minor.
Correct.
You kept your distance.
You could basically call it Pro Jared 2.0.
You kept your distance when you knew they were a minor.
Yeah.
And then when you had
I did not know that they were until very end. The very end.
Okay. And then
the very end is when they revealed.
Okay. One second.
I never met them.
Okay. And then you had a controversial person on a panel. Evo told you not to have that person on.
Correct.
And when you refused to not let that when you refused to not take that person off, Evo then tried to say that you were a groomer.
Yeah, correct. That's how Evo played it.
Okay.
I'm not even kidding you, John. It's pathetic.
Okay. Well, okay. That's from your point of view, and it seems like
It's not even just my point of view. Everyone knows it. But it's fine, John. It's whatever you want to say. I can't
I'm not. Hang on. I'm not saying anything. I'm only learning about these allegations today. You know.
So I know. Right. Well, I have to explain them, and I'm like, I really just don't like having to. Again, it's like when you said stay away from drama. I was like, I know, I do my best, but people try to make it about drama because they're sad. That's how the world works.
Yeah. Well, outside of this interview, I would suggest going forward, just not interacting with drama.
I appreciate your input. You
stop saying John.
What? Stop saying John?
No. I'm reading chat. I'm just reading chat. Don't worry. But okay. So it seems like you've had a lot of history with the speedrunning community. Where were you speedrunning exactly? What were you speedrunning?
I was find me. Actually, find me. So you'd love this. So let me tell you the back and forth history, right? So basically, I was in an abusive relationship with this man who tried to kill me. My brother saved my life. And so basically, I wanted to speedrun the game. So I contacted Cabasco. She was really rude, but I just didn't really pay attention to her. She acted like there was no big deals. Like there was a lot of certain context undertones that I felt like she was trying to display, but I didn't really read it very well because maybe autism or something in Discord, not Discord chats, but more so like Twitter DMs. And so what ends up happening is Cabasco just says, "Well, you're a weirdo. I blocked you." So I was like, "Okay." And then in my mind, I'm like, "Well, I'm taking the record." So I did that, and she hated it. She was like, "This new method is questionable at best." I was like, "Okay, honey, well, get ready to questionably have your record taken, and I don't care what you think." So she tried to argue that I was bullying her through speedrunning, right? You can't bully someone to follow the rules. You have to really explain to the person how rules are followed, and it's like, I don't know how this game is ran, John, right? And so I'm doing everything in my power to be polite. And the problem is, I don't understand what it is. And Cabasco just says, "You make me uncomfortable. You make me uncomfortable. Wow, wow, wow. You took my record." Right. So she took the record away from me 5 times in a row in a sense of just so I got a 533. Then she gets the record down to 414. So the most amazing thing happens, right? YouTube Music recommends me Teddy Swims Lose Control. And I listened to that song and, I started crying because it sounded like a music artist who knew my life very well, John. So when I listened to the song, Teddy essentially walked into my headspace and he said, "Nick, you have all this negative in your life. You need to take all of that, recycle it, and make it positive. I know you got this record. You got this, Nick." So, right, I bust out my Japanese system one day. I get a 336. And I bust out my English one and I get a 347. And I'm just in my head, game, set, and match. Cabasco could not handle that, John. It tore her very soul. There was actually a comment from this one person, I think DJ Dog, and they said, "The gaming otter took your record." And then she said, "Congrats to him." And I started laughing. And I was like, I didn't even tell him to say that. And it just was very cathartic to just feel like, you know what? I'm really glad my autistic ADHD, gay, cisgender, white male mind could actually feel like he meant something to the world. Even if people don't want to see it.
Oh, okay. It's
video game record. You don't have to tell me.
I'm sorry. What was the game again? I kind of lost track.
Find me. I can actually send you a link to the record. You could actually
find me. Is that
what system
is that
there was this
for?
person by the name of 3DS. So
Find me.
Let me tell you, I had to buy multiple systems to because I didn't know how to mod the game. So I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna go for the brute force method.
So the Street Pass game. Okay.
Yeah, that.
Okay.
So I bought 10 systems and I beat Cabasco, and Cabasco's like, "I can't afford that many systems." I was like, "Well, you afford a new system when you try to beat my game. So what was that?" So it's just really funny back and forth, and a lot of pettiness from my competitor. And I was like, you know what, honey, I don't really care. You can own all of the records, but I proved that I was the better competitor. And I was like, you know what? I just smiled with a grin on my face. I was like, "I'm sorry I made you uncomfortable, but that was not my goal. That was not my purpose. You made it uncomfortable. That's how you took it." And at the end of the day, John, all I have to say is you choose how to react to things. So if someone decides to react with bitter vileness and retribution, I can't control that. But what I can control is when I do get my own victory, I smile and like, "You did your best." I respect that.
Dickers in chat ask, I know he talks about his autism a lot. Does he have any other disabilities?
So I've been told ADHD. The thing is, John, like, when I found out about it in my early 20s, because my parents said I was diagnosed at 3, and
Mhm.
I kind of knew I was different. I was in remedial classes, and I had this instructional aide follow me around. And the sad thing is, John, I always felt like I was struggling in life. I was struggling by my own freedom and my own protection. And sometimes the worst part about life is you don't get your own freedoms because you're so overprotected. You feel like you're living around bubble wrap. And sometimes you have to break free, even if the restrictions are so bad because you're poor, you're this, you're that, like you said earlier, you have to live to your values and principles. And sometimes people will tell you something of what they think they see. And it's like, look, if I can only see what I can see, then I don't know what to tell you. And that's not being closed minded. That's not being a narcissist. That's just being a human. And when someone can't explain it to someone, it's like, well, I tried to listen to you. I tried to do this. I took it in context. So now what do you want me to do? Because I don't understand. And that's the worst part about being autistic. The world does not cater to you. And that's the sad part. And, there's a lot of really brilliant minds out there, John. And,
Uh-huh.
and I stand by that. And when there are people like myself or Bo Blacks or Plain Rock or like people that really are trying to be themselves, people don't always like that. And sometimes what's really great is finding the hero, not just in yourself, but in others. So I was really glad to hang out with Josh Boblacks at VidCon. He was a cool person, and I just really appreciate that. So,
Good,
and to
good.
be upfront, like we don't really care what Tipster thinks about our friendship. He's welcome to think whatever he wants. We kind of just laughed at him, actually. We kind of thought it was funny. So,
Hmm. All
sorry.
right. So so this delves more into like some personal questions for you. So okay,
Okay.
it's no secret you are currently in a difficult financial situation.
Yes, I am.
Do you have plans on getting a job to?
I do. So I
Okay.
have Uber Eats as a backup, and I'm trying to get a bike in San Diego. So if anyone wants to donate to that, they're welcome to. But if they just want to tell me that my life should be harder, they're welcome to that too. But it's like this, John. At the end of the day, I made that GoFundMe for a reason. So you're welcome to say it's worthless, but I don't see it that way. I have to keep trying like anybody else in this world.
I'm not saying
And
it's worthless. It's just I was a little confused on like the wording of the GoFundMe because like
okay.
from what the
Yeah, no, I
GoFundMe
know.
seemed
I think
like
I
it
think wording for
was.
anyone is hard.
Yeah, so it seemed like from the wording that the GoFundMe was mainly about funding your YouTube stuff and not necessarily anything
No,
like
no, it had
medical
nothing to do
related.
with YouTube. Well, I could actually change it around to actually explain that it's nothing to do with YouTube. It's everything to
Okay.
do with trying to make my life better by helping my twin brother and myself to push ourselves forward by getting him the heart surgery, by getting the resources needed so he can get medical treatment. That's
Uh-huh.
the point.
Also,
And if
oh,
part of that is having, a stable place to live, which we're struggling with as well,
mm,
that's also part of the goal because you can't have a healthy heart without a healthy home.
yeah. So also, do you understand? Like, do you understand the Bobak's controversy at all? Or, like, how aware are
Oh,
you of
I've heard,
his stuff?
I've heard that it had to do with, I believe, was it OF related?
No, well, OF is part of it, but the underlying
Right.
issue is that Bo Blacks for a while was going through a mental spiral, and he took
Yeah.
out a lot of his paranoias
Yeah.
and frustrations of his lack of
Yeah. Okay.
recent YouTube success on his friends. That led to a whole
That's a shame.
thing, and unfortunately, due to Bo Black's own actions, it led to the
The
reveal
falling out.
of his gender identity, their
I
gender
heard about
identity. I
that.
do
That's
apologize.
a shame. That's a shame.
Yeah, I just like I unfortunately it's some people view Bo Black as more of a controversial figure because it seems
Well,
like he's
yeah.
more so fetishizing his gender identity.
Well, I think with the gender aspect is that, when you talk about anybody coming out, there's
Mhm.
always like a growing period's time. It's basically like if Selena Gomez and Demi Lovato and Miley Cyrus are being super salacious with their intent. And
Uh-huh.
people look at that like, but you were a Disney Channel star and this is who you were. And it's just such a jarring turn of events. I mean, it's no weird bad as like, say, what's her face? Like JoJo Siwa being like, I invented gay pop. I'm like, no, you didn't. It's like at least with like Selena Gomez and Miley Cyrus and Demi Lovato, when they were all salacious, it's like this was like jaw dropping, but they had the entertainment value. Jojo Siwa just like lacked the punch. So it was like, well, I see you went for the punch line, but you lacked the punch. So, but yeah, I have to end the interview because I'm with a friend right now and he's waiting for me. So I was supposed to meet with him. So I apologize, but I just want to end it on a good note and just say, no one is going to agree with your identity. At the end of the day, if people accept you for you, that's great. And if they don't, you have to keep walking on in life because that's how life is. So I just hope you take that in stride and wear it with pride. So thank you so much for having me in this interview, and I'll talk to you later, okay?
Take care.
Take care. Take care.
Holy fucking shit. Burn. You know what? I think this is the point. I think this is the point in the interview where I hit in the live stream where I just, I let people call in. And ask me their questions because holy fucking shit, man. Holy fuck. Oh. You ask one question and it's like you go into a whole rabbit hole that you didn't know about. Holy fucking shit, man. Hi, tipster. What the fuck?
That was something else, wasn't it?
That was something else. God damn. The little sassy side comments he was making towards me. The little sass.
Yeah, that's what he does. It's really interesting. I think the funniest thing is how every time he opens his mouth, he goes on this like he's trying and failing to do like a Disney style inspirational speech. Like it's really like cringe, and he clearly likes to hear his own voice.
Yeah, it's like you're like, I'm sure you experience this, tipster. Like your significant other is a little down, so like you get a little more pep talky than you usually do. It's like, hey, things are bad now, but they'll get good eventually.
Yeah. I thought it was crazy that like his mod Tessa was in the chat, threatening to like dox me and also like threatening to flag down my channel and bragging about how they had gotten successfully channels flagged down in the past. It's like, listen, lady, you are not in the right place to be bragging about shit like that.
Dude, fucking like threatening to take down my channel too. It's like, god damn, what did I do? Holy fuck.
For sure. But yeah, like, I mean, he insists that like my content on him isn't fair use. I mean, for fuck's sakes, his stream was an hour long, and my reaction is like 3.5 hours. I've added more than commentary to it.
It's more than fair.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've always been pretty good about like doing adequate commentary. You're not going to get like a Hassan style chair stream from me. But like, if he's still watching by any chance, like, go ahead, strike me. I challenge you to strike me. I will dispute it and I will win. And I suppose after that you can, take me to court, but I don't know how you're going to do that considering you depend on your audience to feed you meals every day.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, chat, we if I doubt I have many longtime viewers, but if any of you were there early on for like the live shows and stuff, y'all know my main inspirations were Augie, Tommy C, and when Tipster was doing commentary, Tipster. So like I know, as like, speaking of someone who used to watch like your old commentary content, you provide more than fair use.
And it's a common thing for me. Like, it's to the point where like back when I was like a pretty noteworthy figure in the commentary community, and I would get like decent viewership on my streams, like there were some members of my chat who would criticize me because they thought I paused too much. It's like, no, like if anybody does fair use, like it's definitely me. I'd be a massive hypocrite to criticize multiple people for non-fair use content if I wasn't doing fair use content myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if he wants to strike me, he can strike me. I'll dispute it. I don't care.
Gaming Otter does not seem to be a well-off individual. Like, I'm calling it now. If a certain owner of a certain website ever found out about him, I feel like there would be a page about him up.
I'm not even touching that. For obvious reasons, I'm not touching that.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, of course, of course. It's just like I wouldn't be surprised if there was a page now. But it was.
That's what I'm saying. Is like all of this stuff that he's doing right now is bringing so much negative heat his way. Pretty much every drama streamer that covers what's currently going on in like the Twitter sphere and stuff like that, they're all covering this guy right now.
Chud Logic talked about
people
him. Nick talked about him
people
for a
have
brief
had
moment.
previous drama with him. People have had previous drama with him. Like all his ops are coming out of the woodwork to join the dog pile. Like he's brought so much negative attention on himself. And keep in mind, like this would have stopped a lot sooner if he would just like shut the fuck up. Like if you look at my recent tweets about him, it's just him like threatening to like strike my channel and shit like that. And occasionally something funny will happen and I'll clip that and I'll post it because I mean it's funny. Why the fuck not? But outside of that, like I don't give a shit if him and Boblax are friends. If anything, I think it would be pretty funny if somewhere down the line he gets backstabbed just like everybody else did by Boblax. Because let's be honest, that's what's going to happen. If he ever says anything that Boblax, takes the wrong way and takes it as a slight, he's going to backstab, him too. So,
or what if Boblax realizes like, wait, this guy's a little too much for me.
Yeah, well, one thing I noticed that's been going on, they're supposedly such close friends or whatever, and Boblax hasn't said a peep about any of this. So like either they are like buddies and Boblax just is kind of letting him, he's hanging him out to dry, letting him deal with this by himself. Or Boblax is like, this guy is too crazy. I want nothing to fucking do with this guy. And he's just like, keep it to himself now. I don't know. It's hard to know for sure.
Were you still watching when he said he respects my penis?
Yeah, what was that about? He started like flirting with you or whatever?
Yeah, dude. Well, I made a joke that Tesla was trying to take down another queer content creator, right? Because I'm pansexual.
Yeah. Gang, let's go.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just like, you're queer? I was like,
I had to ask him though, the whole like him like questioning my queer identity. I was like, what do I need to do to prove it to you? Do I need to send you a video of me sucking a dick, or you want me jerk off to gay porn? Like what?
Yeah, he's like, yep.
Do it. And I was like, you're fucking weird,
bro.
that is, considering how creepy he's been to me at this point, that is not how you respond to that question.
I'm sorry, if you care about your brother's heart condition so much, the last thing you want is a fucking threesome with him, yeah, Chad, there's a clip of him saying he wants to have a threesome with his brother and Tipster.
Yeah. Well, he like acted out because he did a video where he was acting out like what I would be doing if he were to have sex with me. It was basically like me cowering in pain or some shit because I couldn't handle him.
That's a little disturbing. Little disturbing.
Yeah, it is. See, that's what I'm talking about. Like I have no problem with like adult humor. If you watch my streams, we talk about adult related subjects all the time, right? But when I've told you to leave me alone and I just don't want nothing to do with you and stuff like that, your response is to like basically sexually harass me. It's understandable that I would be a little bit uncomfortable by that.
Yeah, I'm hoping for the best for him though. I'm hoping that he gets his life back on track. I hope he stays out of drama, and I hope he just he spends his time talking about Nintendo stuff. But unfortunately,
I mean that's what his channel's supposedly about. I mean, that would be best.
Yeah, apparently.
I mean, like at the end of the day, like I haven't done any content on him recently. I said my piece in my last video, and that's kind of it.
Yeah.
And aside from like the tweets where I'm clipping stuff of him like talking about wanting to strike me and shit like that, other than that, like I have no interest in continuing this going. So if he's serious about I'm not going to talk about Tipster anymore, it ends there. But at the end of the day, if you're a live streamer and you're going to talk shit about another streamer on your stream, you have to be prepared for the smoke. If they hear about it, they're probably going to respond.
Oh, of course. I trust me, dude. I pray to God every day that when I do a live stream, the person that it's about finds it, so that way I can start YouTube beef with them.
Just for you, one day randomly on a stream, I'll just take a snipe at you, and we can do like a fake beef. And you can
fuck yeah! There we go. There we go.
I'll call you out for being a selfish lover. You let the gay dude suck your dick, but you don't suck it back.
Oh, that's a reference from the Down Dead. I can fucking speak.
Well,
today.
it's
Holy
also
shit.
it's that, but also like, didn't you just say that earlier that you like let gay dudes suck your dick? You didn't say you sucked it back.
That is very true. That is very true.
So do you return the favor?
Listen, I plead the fifth.
That's cold, dog. That's cold, dog. You know, if you're gonna get some mouth love, you need to give some mouth love back, bro. That's cold.
That's a fucking quote. That's a fucking quote from this stream. Anyone who makes anyone who makes content about this stream is going to use all these fucking raunchy ass clips. And
Hell yeah, I'm down for it. But in any case, you know, I don't want to take up too much of your time. But unless you got, you know, anything else you want to talk about or ask me about, I'm gonna go ahead and dip out.
My question to you is, Tipster, is what's your stance on Israel Palestine? Let's move into the deep questions now.
Do you really want to talk about that? Do you really want to talk about that?
God, no. I was hoping that would be like, and I'm leaving.
I didn't think so. No, we won't go there. We won't go there. I know this audience isn't about that life, so we won't go there.
No, in all seriousness, Tipster, thank you for coming on. It's been a fun couple of streams.
Yeah, we had a fun little like Sam Cedar moment there, and I think it was fun. It was fun.
It was fun. We did, guys. I pulled off my first successful gay op.
Yeah, it was funny. Like when I saw, I think it was him on his streams talking about it, or he was tweeting about potentially doing an interview with you, and that's when I hit you up like, "Yo, are you really gonna have this guy on?" And he's like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Bro, we have the opportunity to do the funniest fucking thing right now."
Yeah, yeah. You know, hey, you know what? And I think I think as the last couple of minutes showed, after Tipster left the first time around, I let him speak. I let him speak his mind. So y'all can use those clips if you want. All right, I'm hoping to get into the next.
Are you leaving this VOD public?
Yeah, I'm gonna leave. I'll leave this VOD public, and then I'll clip it like for videos. That way, more eyes can get on it. I'll call like Tipster Blood Sports or something.
Hell yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and let you go. Thanks for having me on. And I hope you have a good one. Take care.
You too. Cute ambush trolls. Listen, okay. I may not be a looker, but I am not a troll, good sir. Oh my god. Well, that's a stream. That's a stream, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see. Did we even break an hour mark? We did break the hour mark. This was an impromptu stream. Oh wait, do we have callers? We have Cool Anime Girls. I didn't notice she called in. She tried to call in first. Oh, cool Anime Girls. You hopping in here? Hey, Cool Anime Girls. How you doing? Did you enjoy the live stream?
How the fuck are you gonna make me actually do my job as a mod, dude?
I know. We're used to like the 2 viewer streams and
no other mod was there. I had to try to calm chat. How dare you?
I'm sorry.
You should be. You could have at least warned me.
To be fair, and this is no dig at either Tipster nor Gaming Otter. I did not expect even like 15 viewers. I figured we would have like at most like 10.
Well, I kind of put it in Beckett's Discord because I was like, Beckett covered daughter. Let me put it in his.
You should have told me you were going to send it to Beckett. I would have brought my A game. God damn.
Well, technically, I didn't send it to Beckett. I just put it in his Discord. So whether he sees it or not, who knows? Boy, you know that Beckett has like millions of notifications he don't even look at.
Oh, true. We would have done an N-word tower. Oh my God, Wookie, no.
Well, I just came on to bitch about you making me work. I have to get gas. I'm on my way to work myself.
All right, you have a good time at work. Holy shit, that was a fun stream.
It actually was. Bye, everyone. I'll be in chat.
I sent to my Discord at Dickers. Dickers is someone I've heard about for a while. I've seen a few of your tweets, funny man. Unfortunately, I do have to say I've never been able to get one of your streams. But Dickers, thanks again for having me on later. Yeah. Dickers, I do. Dickers, as another content creator, I want to get your perspective on this. I need to see reactions to this. All right, Burn. I know you were in here too. I need to see your fucking reaction to this. Can I get a summary of this whole stream? Well, Evan, basically, I had Gaming Otter on to talk about his little beef with Tipster. And Tipster was kind enough to come on to have a little bit of old school internet blood sports. Funny, John Nerd doesn't go on cam. Oh. Actually, I do have a reason why I'm not on cam. Originally, I was going to be on camera, but my what is it? My camera's battery ran out. If you want to see a video of me where I look, trust guys, I pull off the dad look very well, in my opinion. I pull up the dad look very well. Okay. I look like I look like I already have a mortgage, you know. I'm that type of dude. Hang on. Where is like Here we go. If you want to freeze frame with me. Don't worry, chat. You'll get to see my beautiful face again soon. Boom. There I am, chat. You can see me for all my glory. What the fuck is this stream, man? Holy fucking shit. Oh my god, dad or daddy. You'll never find out. Well, Wookie, no offense, but you'll never find out. Whose side did you pick? Curious. I pick my side, the fun side, the side that's like, yes, fucking content. Because, like, fun fact, this is like the first time I've spoken to Tipster in like a fucking year. Like a fucking year, man. Coke bottle glasses. Hey, Mister, I'll have you know, Coke bottle glasses are actually pretty cool. Glad no one won't see me on cam. Oh yeah, I don't have one. Mwahaha. Henry, what the fuck? It should be renamed to the Gaming Otter and Tipster. You know, I was mostly interested, like genuinely, I was mostly interested in talking to the Gaming Otter to get his perspective on things. Tipster was just a nice bonus. But I will say, this is going to be like my last forte. This is going to be my last forte into this drama. I hope everyone well. Nerdy side will always be his own true at the I will pull the strings. I will manipulate anyone to get the content I need for my channel. But no, in all seriousness, I am done with this little drama here, and I wish everyone well. Will this VOD stay up? It will stay up. It will. It will also be clipped. This is fucking awesome. I hope you all have a good rest of your night. Before we head out, we gotta thank all the lovely members of this channel, which, by the way, if you want to become a member of the channel, you can do it for just 99 cents. And also, we're on the road to 3K subscribers, and you know, we're pretty close to that. I'm hoping to reach it by the end of the month, which I think it's feasible. Did you ask him about him selling his ass for a Switch? No, that's fucking funny though. Dude, imagine whoring yourself out for a Switch. Anyway, we have all the lovely members of the channel to thank. First off, we gotta thank Pigeon Salad for being a Super Nerd 3, the $9.99 tier. And then we have everyone else who is a Super Nerd 1, which, again, you can join for pretty much just $1. We have Cool Anime Girls, Wookie Z, Neon, Lady Nerdiest, Nix, Gigi Hearts, K-Huck, Daniel, and Annie. Guys, thank you so much for all the support you show this channel. Don't worry. And I'm actually very excited for Sunday's interview. Sunday's interview, because we're going to be interviewing a video essayist. And don't worry, I'll be fully upfront. It's not an ambush. It's not blood sports in any way. So we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna have some fun with that one. Stay tuned for the Sunday show, which will be at around I believe either 11 a.m. or 10 a.m. EST. But enough rambling. Let's get out of here. Again, everyone, take care. Nerdy John signing out. If I can fucking get the music I had planned. Here we go. Take care. Professional streamer, by the way, everyone.
Across the room, I wanna meet you at a slow dance. I wanna meet you at a too soon. I wanna meet you but I can't speak, or dead across the room, but I am trying.